But, pickle crimes should yield a funny case. Psych. Not so much.
Oh.
This is real sad.
Oh.
It's fine.
Okay.
First, let's talk about some key elements of this story because it's really short and I needed to pad this. Botulism and liver mortis.
Liver mortis?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually, I don't know why it keeps autocorrecting to liver, Liver, because it's liver, O-R.
Oh, okay.
From the CDC. As we discussed briefly, but I'm going to go deeper. Botulism is a rare but serious illness caused by a toxin that attacks the body's nerves and causes difficulty breathing, muscle paralysis, and even death.
You can also pay a lot of money to have it blasted into your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And do.
I did it for the first time recently, and I have not had a migraine since.
Good for you. I'm due, but I'm waiting until after the wedding because I want to be able to express myself on my wedding day.
Yeah.
In photos.
I don't.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So this toxin is made by Clostridium botulinum. Botulinum. And sometimes Clostridium butyricum.
This reminds me. I'm sorry. Pause. Amanda, I'm sorry I didn't find a present for you in Paris. I love you very much, but I just bought you
I
the
wasn't
beans.
even expecting that.
But I got Lucy a very tiny present in Paris.
Of course you did.
I jokingly was going to be like, did you get me something?
John, cut this.
I'm sorry, I didn't find you a gift in Paris because I didn't look for one for you. But I got Lucy one.
It's a small. Let me just go get it real quick.
Is it a squishmallow?
No.
Oh.
I will not buy those. Okay.
Are you eating it? What are you eating?
Oh, I wanted to have a candy. Okay.
Well, I want a candy. The fuck?
Ready?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Oh my God. You know what it is?
Ricin oil.
Poison oil. Really, Reese?
Yes.
So it's supposed to be for purgative. It's supposed to be a purgative. Like, no shit.
To make
Make
you
you
barf.
puke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Well, before you come up here for photos, you can find some sort of trinket to give to me to balance it out.
Yeah.
Thank
Great.
you. I'm excited.
I'm a Libra, so balance is very important to me.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Anyway. And the Clostridium burrati bacteria.
Burrata. Yum.
Yum, I love burrata. These bacteria can produce the toxin in food, wounds, and the intestines of infants, which we'll get to that.
Food, wounds, and the
Intestines of infants. The bacteria that make botulinum toxin are found naturally in many places, but it's rare for them to make people sick. These bacteria make spores, which act like protective coatings, and spores help the bacteria survive in the environment, even in extreme conditions like your stomach acid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The spores usually do not cause people to become sick, even when they're eaten. But under certain conditions, these spores can grow and make one of the most lethal toxins known to man. The conditions in which the spores can grow and make toxin are low or no oxygen environments, so a can or a jar, low acid, low sugar, low salt, a certain temperature range, and a certain amount of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're
literally
pickling something not right.
The 5
all
ingredients.
of the elements of a brine.
Yeah.
And if you get some stuff off, you're making the perfect environment for botulism.
For one of the most lethal toxins known to man. It's amazing that more people don't murder people with botulism.
I know, for real. Some foods are more prone to botulism than others, especially low acidity foods. And most vegetables are low acid vegetables like root veggies, roots of tubers, and other veggies like green beans, onions, garlic, and corn, and
Cucumbers.
cukes. Therefore, you need to bring the acidity up by using the right ratios in your pickling vinegar. The botulism bacterium will not thrive in properly vinegar pickled vegetables. So using, like Lucy mentioned, that vinegar-based brine is key to safety. Vinegar is an acidified brine, and when veggies are stored in it, the acidity level becomes high enough to resist botulism. Improperly home-canned, preserved, or fermented foods can provide the right conditions for spores to grow and make the botulinum toxin.
Yes.
When people eat these foods, they can become seriously ill or even die if they don't get proper medical treatment quickly. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. Another detail in this case, and once again, yes, I'm padding this case. It's quite short. Just deal with it. Is livor mortis.
Livor.
Livor mortis, but it is just pronounced
I know.
liver. I know Lucy's talked about this before, so this will just be a brief refresher. And please,
And I, of course, remember
yeah, we all do.
discussion.
Please feel free
First
to
time
follow.
for some
For some
of us.
of us, follow along with the truly adorable livor mortis cartoon diagram I uploaded to the drive, which will be on the blog. And whoever osmosis.org's graphic designer is, you're a fucking
so
genius.
cute.
Oh my
It's
God.
so cute.
That is beautiful.
It's the
I love it.
squishmallow of
It's like the
liver mortis
Squishmallow.
diagrams.
I love this font. I could pay attention to this font all day.
Yeah,
I
it's very
know.
engaging.
Where was this when we were failing science? Thank God for Jessica. So, livor mortis is a Latin term that literally translates to discoloration of death, also known as postmortem lividity or postmortem hypostasis.
Okay.
Livor mortis refers to the pooling of blood in the lower portion or dependent parts of the body after death. So, dependent parts meaning like what's the easiest access of pooling depending on the position of the body.
Yeah. If you die on your back, it'll be on your back.
On your back. Yep. Exactly. So this
Die
results
upside
in
down.
it'll be all
You'll
over
be real
your
fucked
face and shoulders. This results in a dark purple discoloration of the skin, but the color can vary, and we'll get to it. Livor mortis is one of the 4 post-mortem signs of death and occurs as a result of the heart no longer pumping and moving blood through parts of the body. Here's a livor mortis fun fact. Different colors of livor mortis can be traced to different causes of death. For example, light red livor mortis is commonly associated with CO2 poisoning. Bluish green hues are associated with hydrogen sulfide poisoning, or like the existence of a lot of hydrogen sulfide. Bluish violet is asphyxia typically, and black can indicate opiate poisoning and or just like the course or the existence of mummification starting in a body.
So it's not necessarily how long it's
Correct, because
been
livor
sitting
mortis starts literally within an hour of death.
Yeah.
And you can have the full coloration within 10 hours of death. And that coloration can be different depending on how you died, which I think is super cool. I mean, but it also makes sense. It's like it's going to affect the blood potentially in a
Could be
different
a red
way.
flag.
Literally, a light red flag.
there.
So now I just thought that was interesting. It's also pertinent to this,
Yeah. I love that.
right? So now that we have this little warm up, to weave this tale, we go back to 2020 and travel to Kenyan's motherland of Russia,
Her hometown.
her
My
hometown of
That I'll
Maryland,
probably
Russia.
never get to visit
Maine.
ever in my life because of Putin.
Maine, Russia.
Maine, Russia. Alexander and Victoria Yakunin were considered a perfect couple. They married in the early 20-teens and wanted to start a family right away. Family was incredibly important to them. They were very close with their own extended family and attended regular like family dinners, family events, family functions. By 2020, they had 2 happy, healthy children, a 5-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. Their names and faces were never revealed. Alexander, who is 30, supported the little family working at a nearby gas plant in the Bolshoye Kuzyomkino village
Inum toxin.
in Kingisepp district,
Of course.
where they lived in a modest apartment. I am so
My
proficient
true
in
hometown.
Russian. Yeah. Around October the
my
19th.
lips.
It's on your lips of places to visit. Of best,
on my
best
bucket
place
lips.
bucket list.
On my bucket lips.
Ew,
There we
that's
go.
so gross.
I love it.
Okay, Hog Girl Summer and It's on My Bucket Lips are my new merch
I
recommendations.
love Hog Girl Summer.
Hog Girl Summer. So around October 19th or 20th, 2020, the dates are not entirely clear, and there were like 5 articles, and like most of them were translated from Russian. Alexander received a homemade jar of pickles from his beloved grandmother.
Oh, shit.
He and Victoria loved pickles, so before bed, they cracked them open and enjoyed their snack. Their children, thank God, were not fans of the briny treat, so they did not indulge. 3 days later, their family was growing increasingly panicked as Alexander, Victoria, and the kids had missed a family gathering and were not able to be reached by phone.
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Yakunin's mother, Galina Yesterbenko, 61 years old, and her husband, Victor, 66 years old. So Victoria's parents were divorced, and this was her mom and her stepdad.
Okay.
Said that they had been unable to reach the couple, and they were very worried. Victoria's sister, Natalia Bakulina, who is 11 years older than Victoria, so Natalia's 36, Victoria was only 25, called their home repeatedly and was just like getting no answer until finally her little 5-year-old niece answered the phone.
Oh, no.
She told her auntie that her parents had been, quote, sleeping for a long time and that they had, quote, turned all black.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. How
Yeah.
many days later? 3 days?
3 days.
Oh my God, those poor children.
Yeah. It's really fucking sad. Panicked, Natalia rushed to their home and was let in by her niece. Quote, I ran in and saw everything. I fell down and screamed, she said in an interview.
Ugh.
Alexander and Victoria's bodies were found in their bed, and it was discovered that for 3 days, their 5-year-old daughter had been caring for her 1-year-old brother, even tucking them both into bed to sleep next to their deceased parents every night.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Fucking
literally can't
yikes.
handle that.
So she was like feeding him and changing him
Yeah.
and stuff
yeah.
for 3 days.
That's such like a
Her-
5-year-old where it's like they know
Something's
some
wrong.
things. Yeah. They know something.
I know how to like basically feed and
Yeah.
clean myself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But not
When it
like,
gets to
go
a
the
certain
neighbor
point.
or like make a phone call.
Yes.
It's so interesting.
It's so weird.
Well, if the parents are in bed, that means they're sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her parents were not drinkers or drug users, so the blackened pallor of their skin was most likely due to liver mortis and the beginning stages of mummification.
Oh,
Because they were like, I think just like the temperature and like they were covered in their blankets. They were like laying on their side, so there was probably a bunch of liver mortis discoloration
On
throughout a
one
lot of the
side.
face. And not just on the back, where like the children probably wouldn't have seen it. The discoloration was so bad that the family was informed that all services would need to be closed casket.
Ooh.
Victoria's mother said in an interview, quote, they said, we must bury them in sealed coffins. We are shocked. Nobody knows what happened.
Maybe because of the botulism.
1,000% because of the botulism.
Yeah.
So investigators were confused at the scene
No,
of
I meant
the
the
clean.
sealed coffins.
Oh my God, maybe. I don't think that botulism, the bacteria, though, can continue to live that long in a dead host.
No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that
And be
I think the bacteria affects your body, and that's what kills you.
Yep.
It's not like then it then moves hosts.
yeah, it's not like a
I
plague
thought maybe
type
it was
situation.
like spores.
Yeah, but the spores are ingested. They're not like airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a neighbor remarked that liquor and drug poisoning like couldn't be the cause of death because they were, quote, the perfect couple. Not that people who, that was their words.
It wasn't.
Like,
it wasn't a thing on anyone's radar that they were doing
Exactly. He said that they don't even consume alcohol. He added, quote, I only have positive feelings about them. The only clue was the jar of pickles they had snacked on from days prior, still on the counter, open. So I think they tested it. And there was botulism in the fucking pickles that the grandma had made them.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Can you even fucking
No.
imagine?
Mm-mm. That's why I will never pickle.
I don't know how
I
you.
put off pickling.
I mean,
yeah.
obviously being put off pickling, but like, And obviously, I don't know what I would do if I were the grandmother in this situation, but like, I can't imagine continuing on.
So it was Alexander's grandmother. It wasn't the woman who went to their house.
Nope. That was the woman who went to their house was Victoria's sister.
Oh, okay.
It was Alexander's grandma who made and gave them the pickles.
Oh my
God.
God.
Because they
That
loved
ended up-
pickles.
Yep.
Just to be nice. Just
Yeah.
as a grandma.
Can't play fast and loose with the pickle.
So while botulism is only fatal in 5 to 10% of cases, the signs and symptoms being caught early are key. So like they ate and then they basically went to bed. And the symptoms can happen pretty quickly. So they probably just didn't even know
Are you going to tell us
what
the
was going on.
symptoms?
I absolutely am. So, especially for our pickling enthusiasts, be aware of the following symptoms and seek medical assistance immediately if you experience any of these. Like, you'd rather just be a little bit much at urgent care
Yeah.
than like accidentally die of botulism
Yeah.
poisoning.
Yeah.
So, this is from Wikipedia. The muscle weakness of botulism characteristically starts in the muscles supplied by the cranial nerves. So that's a group of 12 nerves that control eye movements, facial muscles, and the muscles that control chewing and swallowing.
Okay.
So double vision, drooping of the eyelids. It almost kind of sounds like stroke symptoms
Yeah.
a little bit. Loss of facial expression, swallowing problems. Like these are all indicators that you could have the botulism bacteria
And
in you.
you would notice when you're sleeping.
Right.
In addition to affecting the voluntary muscles, it can also cause disruptions in the autonomic nervous system. And this is experienced as dry mouth and throat due to decreased production of saliva, postural hypotension, which is decreased blood pressure upon standing, which if they were lying down, like they wouldn't stand up and get lightheaded
Right.
or black out. So they would have no idea. And
Or
eventually,
if they felt lightheaded, maybe
They'd go lie down.
Mm-hmm.
and eventually constipation due to decreased forward movement of intestinal contents. Some of the toxins, B and E, also precipitate nausea and vomiting, but not always. So maybe they didn't have that symptom. And difficulty with talking. But if you're asleep, you're not trying to talk.
Oh my God. Never eat pickles before bed.
Seriously.
Pickled anything.
For real. The weakness then spreads to the arms, starting in the shoulders and proceeding to the forearms, and then the legs, again from the thighs down to the feet. Severe botulism leads to reduced movement of the muscles of respiration and hence problems with gas exchange and like essentially asphyxiates you. You can't breathe.
Yeah, they just stop breathing in their sleep.
Yep. This may be experienced as dyspnea, difficulty breathing, but when severe can lead to complete respiratory failure due to the buildup of unexhaled carbon dioxide because that gas exchange is gone.
Yeah.
And its resultant depressant effect on the brain. So I wonder if, because of the light red hue from the CO2 poisoning, if there could have been some like purple and red discoloration, and then also the mummification, which all those powers combined made them start to look black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if left untreated, you fucking die.
Dang.
And also, while we're here talking about botulism, because this is now my botulism podcast, welcome. The most common cases of botulism in the U.S. are infant botulism, or I think Sonia's pretty much past it, or as it's horrifically called in layman's terms, floppy baby syndrome.
Oh my God.
Can't handle it. Oh my God, my hands just got so sweaty.
Yeah, but you're going to want to know so that you can keep an eye out for it.
I know.
So again, from Wikipedia, like I said, welcome to my botulism podcast.
You should call it Yes Botch.
Yas, botch. No, honey, no, botch. Infant botulism, also referred to as floppy baby syndrome, was first recognized in 1976 and is the most common form of botulism in the United States. Because infants can just have this bacteria already. They don't have to ingest like anything, I guess.
Like from birth
Infants-
is from breastfeeding or what?
I'm not, we'll get to it. So infants are susceptible to infant botulism in the first year of life, with more than 90% of cases occurring in infants younger than 6 months. Infant botulism results from the, from the ingestion of the C. botulinum spores and subsequent colonization of the small intestine. Okay, it's not that they can develop it, but they don't have
But
the stomach
spores are
acid.
everywhere, and
The spores are everywhere. They don't have the stomach acid to kill it. That's what it was. The infant gut may be colonized when the composition of the intestinal microflora, or the normal flora, is insufficient to competitively inhibit the growth of the C. botulinum and levels of bile acids, which normally inhibit clostridial growth and are lower than they are later in life because they're not born with like a fuck ton of stomach acid.
Yeah.
The growth of these spores releases the botulinum toxin, which is then absorbed into the bloodstream and taken throughout the body, causing paralysis by blocking the release of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction.
Oh my God, this is also terrifying.
Typical symptoms of infant botulism include constipation, lethargy, weakness, difficulty feeding, and an altered cry, often progressing to a complete descending flaccid paralysis.
No.
So you would know, like, pretty quickly
Yeah, if your baby
that
is
something's
floppy,
off. Floppy,
that's
the cry
an
is different.
emergency.
They're not shitting. Like, especially in that first 6 months, at least nowadays, you're literally putting everything they eat and how often they shit and piss in an app. So, like, you'd, in theory, you'd be able
Also,
to catch
just
this
if a
pretty
baby
quickly.
is really difficult to wake up,
Yes.
bring them in.
Yes, 1,000%.
That's an emergency.
Although constipation is usually the first symptom of infant botulism, it is commonly overlooked because that's just not uncommon in little babies.
Well, Sonia's in the
There's-
clear today then.
Yeah, and she was in the clear at the airport on the way home.
I dreamt
Apparently.
about Sonia's blowout last night.
Sonia
I dreamt
had
it
a-
got on my feet. I had to wash my feet.
Sonia
Oh, God.
had a diaper blowout on the plane ride back from our vacation. And Zach
Honestly,
was
it's
the
the
one
best.
we just knew she needed a diaper change, but we didn't know that she had pooped. And he was the one changing her, and it got on his shirt, and then he
Didn't have a backup.
I packed him a backup, but he had already used the backup that morning
Classic.
and didn't replace the backup, which is on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had to wear my backup shirt on the plane, which was a
Yep.
deep V,
Blouse.
flowy, black
Very
blouse.
flowy blouse. And I have
she, like,
never
rocked
been more attracted
with like
to
a
Zach. He
three-quarter
looks,
sleeve and
he
like
looks so good in it.
and like
It looks like a tunic on him.
Yeah.
Like it's very sexy.
It looks like he
his
just got
chest
back
hair-
from a year abroad in India.
It really does.
it does. It looked like he was like at a yoga retreat, an ashram.
Yes. It really works.
So that's what he wore on our 8-hour flight back.
It is the first time I have been physically attracted to
There you
Zach.
go.
When he's wearing
in
women's
Kenya's
clothes.
blouse.
Oh, there you go. It's a great shirt. I also
Yep.
have it in white and army green.
Oh, you
Of
can
course you
share it now.
Yep. So I just wanted to read this last
Back
part
to floppy
because
babies.
back to floppy babies
God.
because I didn't know this, and this is like such a common household item. So just a heads up.
Mhm.
Honey
Yeah.
is a known dietary reservoir of C. botulinum spores and has been linked to infant botulism.
Yes.
For this reason, honey is not recommended for infants less than 1 year of age.
I knew that.
Most-
I forgot
Yeah.
why, but I knew
Well,
no
this is why.
honey before 1
A
year.
year.
Yeah.
Most cases of infant botulism, however, are thought to be caused by acquiring the spores from the natural environment. Clostridium botulinum is a ubiquitous soil-dwelling bacterium. Many infant botulism patients have been demonstrated to live near a construction site or an area of soil disturbance. So even if you're like out gardening
Oh.
and then you're engaging with your baby,
'Cause it lives
this
in
is
the
another
ground.
reason why it's important to just wash your hands before you play with an infant.
How did any babies survive before?
Honestly,
lot
I
didn't.
don't fucking know. A lot
How did
didn't.
any survive?
A lot did, but I had no. I mean, obviously, I don't look into this shit because I'm not having kids. But it's like,
It's so
what the fuck? And I just am used to washing my hands before I touch a baby, so I didn't even really think about that. I just figured it's like my own viruses, viral shed, bacteria, whatever. I get that, but I didn't even think about like you're out in the garden, you're out mowing the lawn, you're fucking around in the dirt, you live near where they're doing construction. You let your kids kids fucking love a construction site. They're looking at the trucks, they're climbing on mounds of dirt. Like just wash the hands. Just frequent hand washing is like such a concept that gets lost on mostly cis straight men. Like wash
Read
your
the books.
fucking hands.
Take the class, read the books.
and like wash your fucking hands.
Listen to Yas Batch.
Listen to Yasbotch coming to a podcast near you.
Podcast.
Well, I sure hope you liked that clip. If you did like that clip, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a nice review, and joining us on Patreon for even more video content, audio content, salacious content all around. Come join us. Treat yourself.